What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the warehouse series. So today we're going to be doing another unedited video of me selecting in the warehouse. So let's get right to it. All right, guys. So like I said, this is something different for me. I am going to start selecting backwards. So I'm trying to get this to where you would be walking behind me. So I'm going to select, I usually select from front of the pallet to the back of the pallet. And I usually start selecting on the front pallet that's closest to my jack. But for purposes of filming longer, this is how I'm going to do it. If you guys would give me a thumbs up, that would be great. Subscribe to the channel. Leave comments, guys. Join Discord. That link is always in the description below. Right here, you're going to see me switch this around. You get cases that are singles and you get cases that are actually wrapped as a double. I really prefer to have my doubles on the corner because they are just more sturdier and I don't have to worry about the shifting. Can flew out right there, so I'm going to go pick that up real quick. It happens. If you select canned goods, you know this happens. But I hope you go get it and put it back in the packaging. Now right here, I am around multiple people. So you're going to see me just start selecting and just start throwing cases onto the jack. I hate being around people. I like to try to create space. And anytime I'm around people, I will create space by just throwing cases onto the jack just to get ahead. And that's what you see me doing right here. I will start organizing these cases in a little bit. You will see. But a little aggressive there as usual. But like I said, I am just trying to create space. So right there, you like a couple cases at a time, guys. I don't have to sit there and mess with every single one of them. I know I got more cans coming up, so a couple cases at a time to get me where I need to be. Once again, there you go. 2 cases and keep moving. I tell you guys all the time, you have got to keep progressing forward. You cannot get hung up on cases for too long. Couple cases, move on. So now I have created quite a bit of space between the people behind me and myself. So now I could start organizing the rest of my palette. Like I said, this is something new to me. So what you are seeing here would be like almost like you're walking behind me. So this is how I would start selecting my front pallet closest to my jack. And so that all the empty wood right there on the back of that pallet would be on the back of my pallet. So I'm selecting this backwards. As you can see, all these cases, this is what I was saying to the one person on the other video that you had canned goods. When you have all canned goods, you should be able to tie them in. There should be no column stacking when you come to having all cans like this. You should be able to tie these cases in with no problem. So just take your time, see what you're doing. Now right here, I noticed that, guys, I told you I am so particular. My outside, or I should say my inside case had just a slight lip. So it was just a little bit higher because of just what the one case was. So I took the time to switch it around because it is lower on my pallet. I probably would have done it no matter what, but just to give you an idea, that's how important to me it is to have the higher case on the outside and the lower case on the inside. Just that it was literally just a hair. And it's just enough where I am going to take the time to switch it around. As you can see, I'm getting a nice level base. So that, like I said, that's technically the front of my pallet. I'm building this backwards, so that's how I would do it. I would start, so when something doesn't work, even though I got boards open, and plus that was the side of the pallet I was on, I try to throw the cases on the side of the pallet, or side of the aisle I'm on. And if it's not working on the first level, then I just keep going up. I will start my second level. So as you can see, I'm filling in the back of my pallet, which is technically the front on this video. I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about when I'm saying that. but trying to keep things nice and level. If I have any cases that are a little bit higher, they're going on the outside. Now, like I said, these are unedited, so not a whole bunch to talk about during the beginning of this, but this way you guys could see me throw an order from not start to finish, but start to as much as I could possibly film. So you see how I'm tying in every layer. It's just, guys, it could be the most slightest difference in from one layer to the next, and that's just enough to tie it in, as long as you're not column stacking it. And you'll see later on I do struggle. Now that case right there, I call that a filler case. As you can see, I'm cruising even more right here. I call that a filler case because, you know, it's one that if you have a small gap, you could put it in. But pretty much the beginning of that owl is where I would need that filler case. So I didn't need it, so I just stuck it down next to the other one. And my skinny narrow cases, always in the middle of the palette. And if I don't like it on the layer that I'm building, I just automatically go to the next layer. That is how I build my palettes. And you're going to see that later on in this video. I'm getting some chunky soup. Chunky soups are a little bit higher than the cases that I threw on the front of that palette. So I am going to try to build a corner out of my chunky soup. And I do get another one here, passed up my slot. But I get another one here and I will stick it right next to that one so I could build a corner. And I got my nice high corner. Because like I said, if I were to put those two chunky soups next to any of those cases that are up in the front part of that palette, it would not work because they would be higher. And then I would have a low corner and a high inside. I stick to the fundamentals of how I know how to build. I don't change for anything. It is literally the same stuff. So there, I got those stupid pickles that if you watch my other videos, I have told you that when I get these pickles, I just stick them up front. I just look at that. I just keep stacking up front, guys. If the stuff's not working, I'm just going to keep stacking. That's my column that I stack up the front of my palette, and I'm just going to keep selecting. I'm just going to keep moving. I'm not going to dwell on something for too long. At least that's the game plan. Now, when I'm throwing this order, this is my first order of the week, actually. So I have absolutely zero time on the clock when I'm doing this. So I'm actually trying to move at a faster pace. I don't know if you could tell from this video to my last video. But then again, I am not selecting my normal routine here. And it did throw me off a little bit later on. You will see. I kept starting with the palette closest to the camera. And then I'm like, that's right, I'm building so I could film as long as possible. So a little bit out of my norm, but you know, it worked out well. I think I did a decent job on it. And once again, guys, you know, you're going to start seeing, once I establish a base, you're going to start seeing what I do on every single order. And that is small cases, my cross and T that I talk about. I'm going to have my small cases within that cross and T, and then I'm going to have all the other cases pointing towards the middle of my palette. I build the same way every single time, and I feel like it's the best way to build a palette. And this is actually going to be a two-part video. I'm going to show this part. I don't want to make these videos any longer than they have to be, so I'm going to show this part of me actually filming my palette, and then I'm going to actually do a part 2 where I actually break down my palette and show you why I don't agree with building the back palette first. I know there are some people on here that like to build the back palette first. I like to build my front palette first, and I like to build my second palette second. And my back palette second. I'm gonna tell you why I like to do that on the second video. So this video is just literally just gonna be me selecting, and then the second video is going to be me breaking down why I did what I did. So it's almost gonna be like my video breakdown, my picture breakdown. So right here, guys, I'm continuing to, I'm getting into bigger cases now, and I do end up moving my phone up the jack. I found a way to prop up my phone a little bit higher, so we're gonna be able to go a little bit longer with this. But right here, anytime I get a gap like that, I space it out. If I know I'm only gonna be able to fit 3 cases across, I space them out all the time. I will not leave a big gap where there's a possibility of a case on top of that hanging into the gap. Now, I'm actually struggling with this. This is a 2-pallet order, and I do have a front pallet that I could build on, but I am not building on it. I am showing you that no matter what I get, I could build a pallet with. So, and I'm doing it for the purpose of the video. There is literally 1 case on my front pallet. It's a case of water. So a skinny case of water that I started with. But I would usually start building these on the second base, these cases that I'm getting right now. But for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna keep building on the 1 pallet so you guys could see me doing that. But normally I would not do this unless I had a 1 pallet order. So right here, I'm getting these, the Arizona tees, and the Arnold Palmer tees. I'm in that part of the warehouse right now, and keeping the higher cases on the outside, lower cases on the inside. I prefer not to have the tees on corners because of the open box top that they have, but every now and then, if you just get too many of them, you have no choice but to. As you can see right there, I put that one in the corner, and I believe I get another one right here. Yeah, so... And guys, just because you have a level layer, so that layer below the Arizona tee, it's level, but it doesn't mean that I have to lock in the next layer. If the inside of your pallet is not working, then why would I try to lock in that layer and force myself to start leaning cases? So sometimes it is a necessity to keep going the same direction as the bottom layer below it, as you can see right here what I'm doing. Now I moved my phone up so we could try to keep selecting here. I'm trying to get creative with the ways I'm starting to film. So like I said, guys, this is not normal for me. So this is new to me. I'm just doing this for the sake of the video. That's all. I have another one of these unedited videos coming up, where it's the same thing. I'm starting on the back pallet and I'm building backwards. You guys let me know if you like it this way, because we're getting to see a little bit more of me selecting. It doesn't get cut off so soon. I actually think I'm almost done filming here, because I get to the point where it's getting close to me cutting it off. Yeah, like I said, guys, like that Deer Park would be on the other pallet. I'm literally doing this just for the sake of the video. I got another Deer Park. I'm still able to work this out though. And then I think I got one more case here, and I'm going to finish this. Yes. Okay. All right, guys. So that's the end of the video. Like I said, a little bit out of my what I'm used to doing. So not that I struggled with this palette, but it was a little bit out of the norm. So basically what I'm going to do is my second video. I have so much more I want to talk about on this order of why I don't like doing the back palette first. I know, like I said, some people like doing the back palette first and building the front palette second, because they like to have 2 barriers to build against. I'm going to tell you why I don't like it that way. So we're going to end this video here. If you guys can subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. Part 2 is going to be coming up, where I show finished product of this order, and we're going to go over a little bit of why I do things certain way. So that's it for today, guys. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.